Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Why am I always late? Always like a couple of minutes, 30 seconds. Come on, stop exaggerating, people. Good evening, folks. Welcome to Alien Addict on this fine and mythological evening. How are we all diddling on this fine, luxurious, and it is a luxurious evening because we have my two favorite people in the world joining me on Alien Addict tonight. We have Lee from Must See Audio.
Hi. I didn't
Good
expect
evening,
you to
Lee.
bring me in first.
It's just the click of the button. I go to what I'm drawn to, and I always come to Rich last because he's usually doing something very naughty on the other end. So I just need to control him. Good evening, Rich Giordano.
And that's wrong. Usually you
There
start
is
with
still
me.
smoke in that room.
Yeah, that's right. I had to get it because I'm working all day today. It's been a busy day.
You have been busy. You've been a busy man. You've been a busy beaver. You were going to have Michael Horney on last night, and he didn't turn up, and you destroyed him today, and Myers.
With him, and he took it.
Yes, mate. I haven't watched the full stream because I started watching it when I got home, but I've watched about 30 minutes of the stream, and I've watched the whole of what you put up, the 15-minute. But I'm going to carry on watching that tomorrow, and I urge anybody who ever questioned Billy Myers stuff and tells me Alien Addict, it could be real. Maybe these UFOs are just tree huggers, they just like to sniff the trees.
I'm not
without a shadow of a doubt I remember them bins, Rich. I remember them. That's what they used to put my school dinners in. Do you remember that, Lee? Crazy. The school dinners in the big blue bins, and they used to put the leftovers in there. And sometimes the kid that got picked on would get dipped inside the school.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
How many times did you get dipped, Ollie?
Oh mate, my face wasn't always ginger until I got dipped, and I got the radiation poisoning on the school dinners, because that's what ginger people are. So radiation, too much radiation. I'm sorry, Lee, but we are. It's radiation.
So what's my excuse?
Have you got any ginger apart from your top?
I've got no ginger near me. I married a ginger, though.
Don't be proud of it.
I married a ginger. Souls. Interesting personality. But I'm a little upset. Everything's falling apart, guys. Travis Walton, Billy Meyer. Who's next? Bob Lazar's not real. Anjali.
Well, Bob's not actually real. It's just a hologram.
Yeah, he's not real.
I have sent Anjali an email, a very nice email the other day. She's completely ignored me. It's like maybe she saw a clip.
Yeah, it's my fault. Blame it on me. I don't think she likes men. That's what I
knows.
Neither do I.
Who knows? I know. I've seen her type before.
Well,
around
I would love it. And don't worry, guys, this is not clickbait. We are going to start getting onto the Sasquatch and the Loch Ness Monster and a bit of Mothman. I love a bit of Mothman, Rich. I had the Mothman ready before you even started speaking about the Mothman. But yeah, I do want to speak about that briefly before we even get on with this, because this is the thing. And people like Anjali, or whatever she likes to call herself.
Angela,
yeah, I like that.
Anjali.
What if she pulls through?
She won't.
I said this to you.
Yeah, she won't. It's never been done.
But what if she does, and it's a slight bit of, not evidence, but what if there's something? What if there is something?
If there's something, they're going to use David Wilcock's flying car, and they're all going to go around the universe. Come on, man. Okay, you want to play devil's advocate, as people say. Well, then everything changes. How about that? Everything. We have to rewrite history books. We'll have to rewrite our medical journals. We might even have to, add them in as citizens. And I mean, the whole thing can change overnight. Or maybe they don't want to live on Earth. They have to live in this cave. Or maybe the cave isn't really there. I mean, it's there, but they're in a hologram deck or something. It's weird.
I was listening to a thing this afternoon talking about what were they called? Micro dimensions, and the idea being that you could have like a small structure, because they were talking to about this in relationship to that is it Missing 411 with where the people go missing in the national forest?
Is that David Paulides?
Yeah. And he was talking about in relation to that, where there's a theory that you could have like trees or rocks or cliffs that essentially aren't trees or rocks or cliffs. But if you can go inside the tree, then inside the tree, it's thousands of miles like wide, because it's a micro dimension inside the tree.
You can just say anything. We can say anything and make it real.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because if you're talking, I mean, don't get me wrong. Of course, I want that to be real. It's cool as fuck. But if you're talking about imaginary land, anyone could be an expert. I'm an expert in Never Neverland.
I have my own Never Neverland.
Yeah.
So
Michael Jackson
so
had
we
his own
could
Never
literally.
Neverland.
He had the real one. He's the OG. OGJ.
So what they're saying there is that basically that little thing from the Men in Black with the marble, that could be real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it really can.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that blow you away? We could just be microbes, man. We could be living in a microbe. Something like a microbe.
Maybe each atom has a universe inside it.
That'd be a freaking lot of things going on. I mean, how many? Oh my God!
What if if you say every sort of like microbe, every cell is essentially another universe inside another universe, but the activity that goes on inside those like mini worlds like ours, so for everything from making a cup of coffee really noisily like Rich just did to having a nuclear war, that creates energy, and that's what makes essentially microbes and life forms work as these tiny little civilizations making the power to do it.
I think if anything, what life as we've progressed, and the more we think we know with science, the less it makes sense.
Yeah,
you're right.
I thought this today. I thought I think we need to start when you look at sort of the stuff that's going on with quantum physics and things like that. We need to switch that saying around now, and the saying should be any advanced science can be indistinguishable from magic, and switch it round, because I think magic was there first.
Yeah, Lee, it was you that got me to say that. I think I said that on another show when you wasn't on, and I thought, where did I get that from? And I got it from you. You've said that many times. What if it's fucking magic? What if it's magic? But which leads us on to tonight's show with the hairy man himself.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I bet you,
Michael. He'll be here later. He said
Michael is hairy. I bet Michael's a hairy man. A very beautiful hair. He's not. You've seen him?
I've seen his ass. It's not hairy. I'm joking. I had to
shave.
say it. I never take a risk anymore.
He takes care shaving his beard, not like myself.
Yeah, he's got a delicious beard.
That's a man that waxes his balls.
I can't believe I didn't get a laugh out of that. I'm a little depressed. Is this on?
Which bit did you say?
What? There. Now Lee's making up for it. Thank you.
Sometimes things just pass me by.
What you asking? What I said?
Mainly my wife, but
no,
she just passes me by sometimes.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, we don't speak. She just walks around.
I'm glad I
Yeah.
got really high before this show. This is amazing.
You need to. You need to. This is
No,
why did you get.
seriously, I smoke too much. I'm a little bit out there right now.
That leads us on to Bigfoot.
Who? Hey, I know that guy.
I think that's getting
He owes
old,
me
isn't
money.
it? I need to stop this. I do love
No,
you,
that's
Stephen.
beautiful. That's the best one ever.
Stephen and the Hendersons.
I just had coffee go out my left nostril. Oh,
How do
that's
you-
gross. Sorry.
See, I've got one of my nostrils doesn't work.
Yeah,
True
me
story.
too. That's
True
why I don't
story.
come out
I
right.
had my nose broken and it's never
Me
worked
too.
since.
I was
no,
1.5 years
nose
old.
broken. He had his nose broken.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Well, I had one of those too. My sister pushed me down the stairs. She tried to kill me.
I broke my nose loads of times when I was 20, usually like around a weekend.
What were you doing? Running into fists?
Doesn't matter. I'll be demonetized. Carry on.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, don't speak about fisting.
We're not gonna go there tonight, huh? You forget about it. This guy, he's a good guy.
Who's a Bigfoot fan?
I'm a Bigfoot fan, but I don't believe in it. That is
I like-
so bad. Look at
I
how
like the
dumb
effect-
that is.
I like the fact that Bigfoot fans' abbreviation is BFF.
Oh yeah, that's the best.
Did any of you guys see the
man can
one
get.
that there's a channel I can't remember. It's a Bigfoot hunter, and then
The guy was eating bits of his foot.
I don't know. Is it the same guy that shot this?
I love
Yes.
that. That thing's real. That's makeup job, don't you think?
Something's going on there. I don't believe it's a Bigfoot. Big nose.
Yeah, that's a dude. They
It
just
does
did a
look
good makeup job, right?
very good makeup, I think. Yeah.
Doesn't it look like makeup to you?
Yes.
It doesn't
doesn't.
look like natural.
It doesn't look like that. That branch is there, because for that, I'm no photography expert,
I am.
but if he's took that with like a decent camera, which I think you'd have to because of how in focus that like middle branch is, I don't believe the back image would be so in focus as well.
Yep.
I know it's slightly out of
It is.
focus, but
Yep.
you'd have the bokeh thing going, wouldn't you?
Nope.
Not bokeh. What's it called? Depth of field. I forgot what it's called.
That looks accurate to me. I think everything's there. That
Do ya?
does. Yeah, big time.
Who's the guy that got this?
I don't know.
He's still on YouTube though, isn't he?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
He takes people out now.
Does he?
Yeah, I think he takes
Dude.
people Bigfoot. I think it's like I don't know how much they have to pay, but they go out
Oh,
with
he
him.
charges.
I believe so. I could be just
Now you know it's fake.
I could be just making up the charges there, but I believe I heard that he does charge.
If he's charging, it's fake.
Next
Why?
thing you know,
Why if he's charging it's fake? What if he's
Really?
what if he's got expenses to pay? You know?
Oh, come on. This is nature. Nature, you don't charge people to see something like that. I mean, that's ridiculous. You would have a guy getting in makeup and make an appearance, and then people feel like they got their money's worth. That's
Yeah.
me. Maybe I'm wrong.
No.
Maybe he's a nice crook. I don't know.
The thing is with that, for me, if your passion is Bigfoot,
Yeah.
and Bigfoot likes to remain anonymous, he likes to, make sure he doesn't like people seeing him.
Yeah.
Why would you then take people out to try and find him? If your passion, if you really want to find him and you really want to spend time, well, it looks like he already has. That's as up close and personal as it gets.
I don't
Unless
know.
he's zoomed in. I think he was zoomed in.
He was
but
zoomed in, faux show. Yeah. I watched a documentary yesterday. It was called Chimpanzee. It's freaking awesome. And when you look at a chimpanzee or any kind of ape, they look way different than what we see here.
Yeah.
And I would think if we saw a real Bigfoot, it would be part man, part ape, part whatever. And it would look a little better than that. Don't you think?
Yeah, it wouldn't look like
That's
like
stupid.
a gorilla stood up in a man costume.
Now, one thing I noticed when I was watching chimpanzee was I always thought you saw the striations of the muscles as they flex when they walk. These chimpanzees looked like they were wearing suits.
All right.
Yeah, it was interesting. I'm a little curious as to.
I tell you something, if he has faked it though, Rich, he's done kind of a good job from the original photograph.
From back then? Hell yeah. Oh, this guy? Which guy? This guy?
Yeah, if you look at the face,
You talking about Giblet or the new guy?
the new
Giblet.
guy,
Okay. That
he's
looks
done
great.
he's done a good job of kind of mimicking this.
Yeah, but if you
Kind
go back to the other, you see the lips? That
Yeah.
would be lips of an outdoor ape.
Yeah,
You know, if that was makeup, then this guy literally has no upper lip. Go back and look at the lip. I mean,
there's quite a few people like that. You call them no lips.
yeah, I guess. But what I'm saying, if this was makeup, it's hard to cover up your human parts. You would see the indents and stuff. It's a very well done look. It could be real, man. I mean, right? I could be wrong.
He's very clean.
Well, they would be grooming like an ape. Like, you know, you would think they would.
Don't groom apes.
But
yeah, right. Like apes do. I meant to say.
he looks
to
like
each
a
other.
waxwork to me.
Pardon?
Like
He looks like a
still.
wax. Yeah, he looks like a waxwork to me, like a model.
No, it moves in the video.
Oh, that
it-
thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
does
does.
it?
Yes,
Oh,
it
I
does.
didn't know there was a video. I just thought there was the still. Oh, right. Okay. Well,
It's a
that's
video.
different.
Yeah, I know. And you see it, man. I mean, it's there. It's real.
Can we have a look at that, Ollie? Have you got it?
By the
I
way,
haven't.
my oh, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just
No.
saying I didn't have an echo last night.
I know on the when you were showing a video on StreamYard, because every time I do it, it's an echo.
Yeah, so maybe did you need me to look it up for you or something?
If you wouldn't mind getting the video clip up, yeah, I hope we're allowed to use it. We totally believe you, my friend.
Oh yeah. Well, I've used it 3 or 4 times. Just use it for like 20 seconds. As long as we're talking about it.
Transformative content.
Does it have any music to it, Rich? You know, it's not got Oasis playing.
No,
or
I
anything
don't.
like that.
I don't know. It might take me a second. Oh, I think that was from on the History Channel. If it is, you can't play it. But let me take a look here. Animal Planet. No. If you guys want to just continue talking, give me a minute, and I'll let you know.
I think a lot. We don't really need to play it, I suppose.
I'm desperate to see it.
I'll keep looking. If I find it, I find it.
See, what I'd like to know is, you know, when you think of like gorilla families, like in the forest and things like that, how often is it that like people just trek in these forests come across like dead gorillas? That's what I'd like to know.
You never see it.
No, but you know, if you got a tribes going through the Amazon and stuff like that, I wonder if they find dead gorillas and dead monkeys, because that if that's a thing that happens, that now and again they just come across a like panned out silverback, I'd want to know why no one's just happened upon a dead Bigfoot.
Because maybe it gets rid of its dead.
Maybe.
You know, if it's that intelligent and there's a few of them, they go out together.
So you think they're spiritual?
I think if Bigfoot is real, then it's definitely intelligent, to probably as intelligent as a human, maybe primitive. I don't buy the whole Bigfoot's an alien thing. You know, Bigfoot is, you know, I just can't imagine Bigfoot having a spaceship and just coming out of a spaceship naked and all hairy. You know, I struggle to picture that.
You brought up it's something interesting. Didn't mean to interrupt again. I'll forget.
No.
But how come nobody's ever gotten a picture of his thing, his manhood?
Is big.
We never see that part of him. Usually we see it from a distance, right?
His
but
big
you
leg.
would think his third leg. You think his tripod would be seen?
You would
easily, like it would be out there.
Unless, you know, he's just a little bit out of proportion.
No,
you know,
no way. Not my Bigfoot.
He may keep it in a pouch.
Oh wow!
You know, if he is quite advanced, you know, I've always wondered that about man. You know, why do our testicles? Why are they so exposed? You know,
to keep them cool.
Yeah, but why didn't they just put him somewhere?
Yeah, you know,
make us a little more protected.
Too dangly, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing. We've nature's already invented turtle shell. It should be encased in a little turtle shell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah.
So I've just remembered I did interview a guy in Leeds about Bigfoot. And this guy, he seemed to. I'll play a little clip. I don't know what the quality will be like because it is from a long ago. But I spoke to this fella many a times about Bigfoot. I want to get him on the channel at some point, but he's a complete fanatic when it comes to Bigfoot. He's obsessed with Bigfoot, and he thinks Bigfoot is real. Are you still having a look for that, Rich?
I'm still looking. I just came across one that said Bigfoot is gay.
Most animals are, you know.
Are you? Is that what we're all animals?
I think they're just a lot of them are just greedy, you know.
Yeah. That's
my dog. You know, if my dog's passed away now, but it would shag anything, like literally anything.
Right.
Like objects, settee.
Yeah, toys.
Anything. It would just go for anything. You know, so I don't think animals are too bothered about what it is. Not saying there's nothing wrong with being attracted to the opposite sex, but I'm saying animals, generally animals are, you know, they're not too fussed.
No.
Either way, it doesn't matter.
In the name of science, I've just looked for primate penises. And gorilla penises, small. Very small.
Yeah.
I was just thinking when you said that, Rich, I've never seen a gorilla's penis either.
Yeah.
Oh.
Unfortunately, Oliver, now I have.
Why did we get on? I think it was Rich's fault that we got on to Willie's.
I just brought it up because nobody's ever brought it up before. Everybody's afraid to talk about Bigfoot's penis. I don't.
They see all the footprints. You see all the footprints. You see people that have picked up bits of feces and what have you, bits of hair. How many people have analyzed this hair? You know, and actually,
pubic.
Jesus, Rich, how much did you smoke? Do you know what I mean, though? There's nobody that's coming up that's ever said that they've found hair, and without a shadow of a doubt, this hair is. I think we're gonna lose Bigfoot. We're gonna move on to the Loch Ness monster before we move away from Bigfoot, though.
And
don't get me started. I've not even smoked anything.
Before we go, I'm going to Google dinosaur penis, so I'm ready.
Hey,
yeah.
Lizards keep it. See, lizards are more advanced than we are, definitely, because it's in. They keep it in.
You won't believe what I just found. Pubic hair Sasquatch. Making a Bigfoot suit out of pubic hair.
What, somebody's done that?
Oh, Steve-O, of course.
Of course it is. Oh.
You saw the guy. Did you see the guy that made the Bigfoot?
Which one?
I've forgotten his name. He's on YouTube. His dad.
Oh, that
shot.
guy.
His dad shot Bigfoot in the 60s, and he
Froze it.
He froze it, and
That's who I was talking about.
Peter Crane, dog trainer. That's his name.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
And he brings the he's got Bigfoot's dick, and he has. Yeah,
But he did like a big thing, didn't he? Where he had Bigfoot's foot that he kept in the freezer, and then he hacked a bit off to defrost it, and then essentially Gordon Ramsay'd it and like cooked it up to eat it to see what it was like to eat.
Have you ever seen this guy, Rich? Have you ever seen Peter Crane dog trainer? He's a dog training channel that happens to have Bigfoot in his refrigerator.
It sounds familiar. That's why I knew it was frozen.
Yeah, he set up a GoFundMe as well to build a theme park with a giant Bigfoot in his garden.
Yeah, okay, we've talked about this. Yeah, last year we did.
2.5 million he wanted for it.
Yes.
What a legend.
He's going to have a Bigfoot slide and everything, right?
Yeah, I also asked him for an interview. He never replied.
Yeah, I remember.
Sometimes these people just seem to think they're too big for the boots, you know? Pardon the pun.
Yeah. Sack Squatch. That's what Polar Bear said. Sack Squatch.
Here we are. So this is
Sack Squatch. Is this on? Can they hear me?
Sack Squatch. Sack?
Yes. I mean, we're talking about, genitalia. Sack. Squatch.
Oh.
Instead of Sasquatch. Earth to Ollie.
Sack. Knackersack.
Nutsack.
I got it. See, we call it ball bag.
Yeah. Oh, I love ball bag.
I got it.
Sounded weird. I just love ball bags.
So here, we're going to test it, Rich. See if the echo's gone, because I'm going to play a little bit of the guy that I interviewed in Leeds. The audio is probably terrible because I did it on a GoPro, and you'll know what I mean, Rich. When you're trying to I got a GoPro, and I just thought I'm going to take it out in Leeds for a night out and interview somebody, and my mate was there.
Yeah.
And he happens to love Bigfoot, so I interviewed him on Bigfoot.
Oh, that's cool.
With my GoPro, but the
that's
audio,
how you do it, man.
The audio is probably absolutely garbage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course it is.
I don't think I have a beard either. There you go. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see clearly. Yeah.
The rain is gone.
Oh yeah.
I can see all obstacles in my way.
Wow, what a lovely voice.
Thank you.
Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Mate, GUFON. And GUFON has always wanted to talk about Bigfoot.
Fake.
Let me. I as you can see, why is.
The park down the street from my
We
house.
need to talk.
Big hairy guy. No, but if you think about it, humans haven't been everywhere. Like they haven't been to the dense parts of Europe. Like America's a massive, huge place. They have not been to every single place. So,
I mean, you don't think there's Bigfoot in any other part of America?
oh yeah, there is, yeah, but they live in the dense parts. Like even like Nepal, the mountains where the Yeti abominable snowman has been seen.
You should rename this. Two drunk guys talk Bigfoot.
You can't even hear it. The audio is
It's
that
awful.
terrible.
Yeah,
it's
awful.
terrible. But we were outside a club, and I just thought it was a good idea to talk about Bigfoot. But YouTube was probably already demonetized me because I could hear a town called Malice in the background. But that is way down. I can't be bothered to put in the description, guys. And don't watch it because the audio is terrible, and I look extremely drunk, and my eyes are like piss holes in the snow.
You look like you just broke your nose.
I probably had. No, that was way back when. And it wasn't for fighting. I just was It was an accident. Just an
fell
accident.
down the
I walked
stairs.
into a wall. That's what my
Wanna
wife
talk
told me to
about it?
say. She told me to say.
No, knew it.
So Bigfoot though. Before we move on to a couple of the other subjects, is you do think it's possible that this thing is still alive and it is essentially something that's from Earth, not an alien?
Lee?
I still stand by if any of these things are real, I think there has to be something not otherworldly. I'm with you. I don't believe that aliens, but like folklore and like stories passed down of like goblins and vampires and all that sort of stuff. I feel it's got to be something like other realmly. If it's real, you know, if there's something to it, I'm not saying I think that's what it is. But like I was saying about never finding things, never finding bones, never finding dead ones, or even not even that, not even just happening upon a settlement where they've been living and then moved on somewhere else or found. So if we're thinking they're going to be like Neanderthal creatures, then what do we think? They're probably going to be like Stone Age sort of things. In which case, we'd probably be finding rocks and sticks that have been fashioned into tools. We'd find like elk and bears, maybe, that had been killed by these things. I would think you would quite obviously see if something had been killed by a 7-foot gorilla man. You would tell that thing had been killed by something different,
Unless he's veggie.
It could be.
Could be, but then you'd have to be looking at them in places where there's like massive amounts of like vegetables and fruit.
Shrubbery.
Like the amount, well, not because you couldn't do it. You couldn't sustain something that size
That's
tramping
without
around the
eating
forest.
meat.
Or even like high sugar and stuff. You know, high sugar like fruit and vegetables and things like that.
Yeah, well, yeah, 'cause gorillas don't eat meat, but I know they don't. They don't eat.
do.
Do they eat meat?
So do chimps.
Mm-hmm.
Do they eat a lot of meat though?
They
I thought
eat like spider monkeys. No, but they have meat. They love meat. They eat
Right, okay.
everything. And the one thing, just to expand on what Lee was saying, you would come across, I think, a clan of these things that had once lived in an area or ate in an area where you would see a bunch of half-eaten bananas and fruit and like I was watching that chimpanzee thing and they were using rocks as tools and the rocks
Yeah, I've
kept
seen that.
breaking and and trees were I mean, there was a lot of interesting leftovers that they were using as tools, branches and all sorts of stuff. So why aren't we running into things like that? Like they must have, they must live like chimps in the wild. Maybe they live in the trees high up. They take the branches and fold them over to make sturdy beds. Or they're all cave dwellers or live in the ground. I'm not buying that they're mystical and can disappear on a whim.
I think the way to just before I forget, Ollie, the other way to think about the mystical thing is maybe these places where we see these things are places with like essentially a loose grip on reality. So if we think if we believe dimensions are a thing, maybe there's parts of our world where the veil's thin, for want of a better word. So you're not seeing something shifting in and out of our world. We just happen to be seeing out of our world.
So you're saying Bigfoot's from a different dimension?
Could be. To me, if you're saying this thing might be real, that makes more sense to me than the fact that we have like 7-foot tall bipedal gorillas running around American national parks and nobody's really seen any yet.
Do we hear much about Bigfoot in any other countries?
Abominable snowman.
Yeah, but I mean, do we have one in England?
There's Moors things, isn't there? Wasn't there a big black Moor monster?
There was a leopard. I know that much.
No, I thought there was like a proper monstery thing.
Are you thinking about American Werewolf in London?
Maybe.
Stick to the roads.
Yeah.
Some Amazon tribes got stories of ape men as well. In fact, I think there's a photograph from like the 40s, 30s, or 40s with a ape man strung up in some sort of tribe thing.
The thing is with this, though, and it goes back to what Rich was doing last night with Billy Meyer. There's so many people that have done hoaxes on Bigfoot that it's poisoned the subject. So if there is anything left to investigate, anybody now that even gets a sniff of interest in this should be suspicious of everybody. So somebody could come up with some smoking gun evidence, and it's like, where did you get that from? You know, they want to know everything, and I don't think anybody could ever deliver that without having anything that is just like full HD video footage that shows this thing moving in a way that a man wouldn't move, that shows this thing that eating, foraging, whatever, they have this hard hitting evidence. Without that, but if somebody just has a hint of evidence, and they may be legit, and they may want funding to try and look into this even further because they have seen it themselves with their own eyes but didn't capture it, no one would believe them. People would say, you're just a fraud, and eventually you'll buy yourself a big hangar, or you'll rent one out for the day, and then you'll be telling me that you're going to make a hover car.
That's the course they usually go, right to the freaking warehouse.
I say I should have done a show about that, but it just seems everybody's just going to do a show about that these days, because if it happens, I'll eat my microphone. I will. It will sound terrible, and I will eat it live. But if he makes a hover car, is it a hover? Surely he's going to make a hover skateboard first. Wilcock.
No,
hover car. Yeah,
it's a car.
I mean,
you think you would make the skateboard first, right?
I wonder if Elon's heard this.
Oh God, he's probably laughing. Can't do it in a warehouse. You know, you need so much space. You need the equipment to build the parts.
Wilcock's always been the least credible.
Oh yeah,
like paranormally guy to me. Even more discreditable than your lad which had Bigfoot's dick in a fridge.
Wow.
Peter. The thing is with Peter, though,
and his name's Peter.
The thing is with Peter Kane is that some people call him a big hoaxer. He knows he's a hoaxer, and he's like, you're done for believing it.
Yeah,
you know,
it's great.
You know, he does an alien autopsy and gets squirted in the eye by green goo with the American flag behind him while he's doing it, and people like, it's fake. No shit, it's fake.
Yeah.
You don't even need to comment. It's fake. What you should be commenting is, that's brilliant. Well done.
Yeah.
Mate. Very, very, very creative.
It was cool.
People just take things far too seriously in life. But something that I was always like intrigued by this as a kid, and I don't know if you have similar things in the US, Rich. And I know I hear people talking about monsters, but Nessie has always been something that I thought maybe at some point a plesiosaurus, maybe it was in that lock. But do you know, now when I look at this picture, this classic picture, that water doesn't look to scale.
No, that's confirmed fake, that anyway, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Has it totally been confirmed? How have they totally confirmed it and debunked it?
The guy that took it, I think.
What, he admitted to it? Is he not dead?
It was either him or one of the guys that was with him.
That's like a Travis.
It's a something that isn't it something they stick out of the water?
Yeah, it was like a small model, like a
Yeah.
small Nessie model. Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Because the water does not look to scale. It doesn't look. It looks
No.
far too.
Even now, it just looks like someone is sticking the hand out of the water and doing like a duck with their
It
hand,
does.
doesn't it?
Yes. Well, I think because we don't have the reference of the rest of the pond or lake over there, that thing's actually far away.
Have you seen the new sighting?
No, I didn't know there was one.
Yeah.
Get fucked.
What is this?
That's fucking that's the Loch Ness Monster's dick. That's what that is, Rich.
Here we go.
Free Willy. It literally is
It
Free Willy.
fucking is as well.
Oh wow, that's I don't want to look at that now.
Yeah, it's a whale Willy.
Yeah, all
But
right.
some people have spotted it
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
and
Okay.
thought it was the Kraken. That's what his wife likes it to be called.
Ollie, look at the size of it. It's definitely a kraken.
God, it's bizarre, isn't it?
It's a kraken penis.
It's-
Rich is gone.
I had to put that in there because I just thought if I saw that, if I saw that thing hanging out of the water, I'd be like, shit, the bed. I'd get the camera out. Even if I knew it was a whale, I'd start to take a picture of his mouth.
I just love the fact that Rich keeps disappearing now because he's gone like, I am fucking high as giraffe pussy and I am still not high enough for this show.
Nope. I didn't think I'd be seeing schlongs.
I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I was like, holy sh.
You actually
moly.
tainted me. You tainted me, just so you know.
I to maybe to move this on to more fun monsters, I 100% do not believe in the Loch Ness Monster.
Me neither.
No.
Are you talking about in Loch Ness itself? Are you talking about there's no way on earth that we've got those creatures swimming in our oceans?
I don't know. I don't think we've got those creatures anymore. I don't think they're there. If you're going to go for things like the Kraken, like giant squids, I think there might be giant squids dead deep down in the ocean. But I'm not.
Well, there is giant squids still alive, and they do. Whales still get. You can see scars on whales.
Yeah. But as far as like big things being in the ocean, I fucking bet maybe there's a megalodon left now and again. You know, we've stuck tags on great whites, haven't we? And the great whites have dived down. I can't remember what happened. There was someone tagged a great white. It dove down. Then the next thing is it was grabbed.
Sorry, my love. Sorry, mate. Sorry.
It's all right. It's cool. She's paying you. I'm not. The next thing is this great white was grabbed, thrown down like a vast speed down into the water, and then it just went out of range. And one of the people that was talking about this was saying that they thought the only way that would have happened is if the great white had been swallowed whole.
Right, by an orca and taken down further than it can go at that speed.
Dorif, I'll come to you in a moment with that. I'll ask Rich about that. But a great white swallowed actually what? And this is something that they tracked. Dorothy, thank you very much. By the way,
that was one of the explanations for it, that it was swallowed whole and then taken down in the belly of something else.
The thing is, though, I hear this all the time. We've explored space more than we've explored our own oceans. I don't know if I believe that because space is just endless.
It's fucking massive, yeah. I don't even know if I believe that. If you look at some of the fucking things that go on, like with clear green screening on the ISS,
oh my God, I know.
I'm not even sure how much of space we've fucking looked at.
Rich, let me just come to this with Dorothy, because she's kindly donated $10 super chat. Has she sent this to your Facebook page?
Yeah.
And what is it? Is it good?
It's a sighting she had. It was a UFO that she saw in 1997.
Oh, so it's been recorded on a 1997
MUFON. Yeah.
I want to see this. You'll have to
Well, there's
send
no
me it, Rich.
pictures. It's just you'd have to read it.
It's a right. Okay, Dorothy, email me Alien Addict UK. There we go. Thank you for the super chat, Dorothy. Email me the MUFON case. I'll take a look at that, definitely. I just think that the depth of the ocean and what we've actually explored is nothing, and it's that vast and big that some of these creatures may hide. I mean, we've only just discovered, I think, in the last 10 years that there is a colossal squid, that there is a squid that attacks whales, and they found one. They got video footage of it, and it was amazing. It was absolutely massive, this thing.
There's also that thing that was spotted by the deep sea camera as well, isn't there? Remember that thing?
Yeah, wasn't that the squid?
No, that was something we don't know what that fucking thing is.
Oh, are you talking about the hand?
No, the thing that looks like a fucking praying mantis.
I don't know if I've seen that. How big was it?
I don't know. Mantis size.
What, about that big?
No, it look. You couldn't tell because of the camera. I mean, I suppose you'd be looking like 6 foot, maybe bigger. Don't know. But it was like dangly. It looked like half sort of mantis, half jellyfish thing.
Maybe it was a jellyfish with mantis.
No, it was really odd.
Do you find most things in the sea that you look at though on documentaries, you look at and you think that's alien? That's just.
Well, to us, it's alien. Like literally, if you think of like the barrier of what we can exist in is essentially the difference between land and water, then it is fucking alien to us. We can't go down there and live with it.
But so I get when the dinosaurs died, that most of them didn't make it, but the ones in the sea, you would have thought that a lot of them would have made it, that they would make it because they've still got the food there. Maybe the ones that breathed oxygen struggled. I mean, do any of you two boys know anything about that in terms of what
whales managed? And they're massive.
Yeah, exactly. So why would a plessis? So back to the Loch Ness monster. If whales managed, then why would a plesiosaurus that apparently ate a diet of fish not have survived?
It would have to be eating so much, and there's nothing that would get that big that would be going up into that region. Just doesn't make sense. And like, why would it go there?
No, I'm not talking about going into the actual loch, Rich. I'm talking about because I said, could something not survive in our oceans like that, like a plesiosaurus?
Not anymore. I don't think so.
You think we'd have seen it by now?
I think we would have seen it by now. Yeah.
The only caveat I'd give that is if we had a massive cataclysm and there were these animals that ended up being pushed down, and then as if over millions of years evolved to be sort of like creatures that lived at extreme depth. That's the only caveat I'd give it.
There's not a lot of food down there, man. They'd have to make appearances.
Well, they would eventually, wouldn't they? Because they breathe oxygen. They do breathe. They don't have gills. That type of dinosaur apparently doesn't have gills. They comes up to breathe oxygen.
Well, I think there again, there's the answer, isn't it? I mean, might you saying that how long could it last? Be there?
But look how big the ocean is.
Look how long whales can like stay under the ocean for.
Yeah, like 9 minutes, 8 minutes.
I think when it comes to the sea, in our lifetime, I don't think we'll discover everything that's down there.
Yeah, but if 140, 50 years ago, or even when the Vikings were out on the oceans, they were talking about Kraken, right? Or is
Yeah.
that just mythology?
Yeah, they did. They did speak about. It's not just from Jason the not Jason the Argonauts. What's the other one? Clash of the Titans.
Oh yeah.
The good one, the one from the 80s, not the new one. No. But yeah, they have. The Greeks have always spoke about myths and legends, and that kind of made me want to do this show, because it has to have come from somewhere. I don't think it just came from stories. I think everything back then came from some sort of reality, of somebody's reality of seeing. I mean, you've seen the I don't know how many of them are real, but I've seen like old like pottery, Inca stuff, where they've drawn things that do look a bit dinosaur-y, that looks like you see the Stegosaurus. I mean, the Brontosaurus, you don't see any Tyrannosaurus Rexes, but why would you tame one of them?
Just quickly, just because I just pulled this up to go back to talk about the Nessie thing. I've just pulled up marinetraffic.com. If there was anything sticking its head out, we'd have fucking seen it. The amount of ships right now that are flying around the ocean, country to country. It's only up in the Arctic where there isn't anything, really. But as far as if you look at the map, you know how when you have a map that stretches across, so you've got like Canada here,
like flat Earth.
Yeah, the flat.
Have you got that on your screen, Lee?
Yeah. Would you like it?
Do you want? Yeah, I want to look at the area around Antarctica.
Yeah, let me send it to you.
Oh, just share screen, Lee.
Next time we do a show, you'll have to explain how to do it, because I don't know how to do it.
So easy.
I know. Look,
just hit the share button, do what it says. Done.
Lots of things.
Have you sent it to me?
Yeah, but like now, yeah, there. You've got it.
Oh, have you done the share?
Yeah.
You would have seen it.
No! I sent it to you. Sorry,
you Facebooked me. That's it. Okay, I'll bring it up. Let's have a look at it. Jesus.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. Really puts it into place, doesn't it?
Let's bring that up on the screen. I've lost my StreamYard. There we are.
Wow. That's crazy.
Have you got it, Rich, as well?
I'm just practicing.
Okay. There we go. Can we see that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy, though, isn't it?
It is. It's 15,000 ships at any given time.
But let's be perfectly honest, right? So unless he happens to like particularly cold places, odd round, like there's nothing around the Arctic, though, isn't it? But or there's not a lot. But if you,
where's he going?
Where is he going?
Where is he going? Who is that?
Who's he?
He's off
fishing.
He's off to find the fucking edge.
He's not fishing.
He's off to find the edge. Yeah, but if you're up in that middle region and you think, I've been underwater for 9 minutes and I can only do 10, best get some air, some fucker's seeing you at some point.
I don't know.
What's this? Oh,
it's awfully big out there.
It is big.
What is that?
I
think when a kids is wiped to bogey, I'm on it. I'm like, what?
I know a friend of mine used to do private security work because he was ex-forces on oil rigs. Oil tankers, and he was saying it was a very bizarre feeling when you get out in the middle of the ocean and there is literally nothing, like no boats around you, no land, and all you can see or see around you is a horizon.
And the stars are so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That is, it's just mental. Just
Can you?
do you want it back up?
I just wanted you to take us into like a cluster of them. I wanted to see what it looked like in the cluster. Anyone?
Well, that's a good. I like that. See what the sort of relative distance is. Yeah, bring it in. Yeah.
I mean, you
yeah.
bring
Wow.
in the grand scheme of things, you know.
There's a lot of space there, isn't there?
There is, but there isn't. You think, yeah, they're pretty close together. You mean this is now? Like now?
This is right now. Yeah.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
No.
This
That's
is live movement.
we have to be polluting that ocean like it's the saddest thing ever. Do you know how much? I mean, we still work with put gas, man.
Yeah.
Those aren't nuclear subs in the water. I mean,
but remember, by putting insulation in your house, we can stop global warming.
No, I did that. I've got installation in here, and I really don't recommend it because I was already a hot person, but now I'm just constantly hot. I don't need to put the central heating on at winter time though, so that's a.
In the chat, D-Turban, I knew this actually, but the D-Turban just posted up in the chat saying you should see the airplane map, 40,000 in the air at any one time.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, so that means if you've got pterodactyls on your list as well, there's no pterodactyls.
I nearly put that image in the footage. You ever see that one of the where they've got the pterodactyl?
yeah.
How is that a Photoshop jobby?
No, it's got to be a model for the time it was done.
It's a hell of a model.
It's a great model. I'm
Yeah,
going
it's pre. But I mean, let's not forget that from the minute cameras were invented, people were faking things with cameras. You know, from pictures of ghosts walking downstairs. So
I get that, but that's a bloody good model. You know.
Oh
that's,
I'm not
kind
saying,
of
yeah,
like.
It's really, it looks good.
That's like Walking with Dinosaurs quality.
Yeah.
Saying that, I did watch that the other day, and it's gone downhill.
If you think back to the 1850s and you put in how many people were on the earth, how many were, I wonder? Probably like 1 billion, if that. I mean, I think we were pretty spread out. I would imagine a pterodactyl would be able to fly around at that time.
The thing is,
if they survived, like what's going to take out a pterodactyl?
Food shortage would.
Right. They would never be.
But a lot of the small animals
would
survived.
they need to eat a lot?
No, they ate small. The big animal, the big things like the T-Rexes and what have you, that ate the Triceratops that ate all the branches and things like that. They died, but the things that ate the small stuff survived and evolved. So maybe a pterodactyl feeding on the small things. Maybe it fed on our predecessors, you know, the humans at one point.
Tell you what, if you want to barbecue your head for an afternoon, go down that's pretty crazy. That's a Photoshop jobby. That's not the one I was talking about.
That's real.
Is that the Photoshop?
I think that's Photoshop.
It's well Photoshopped.
What are they really holding on to then?
That's fair.
No, what are they really holding on to?
No, you're right. Yeah. No, that's
kite?
Fair.
No, I mean, I'm half joking saying it's real, but can it be?
I don't know. I think that's...
Look at the veins in the wings.
I was just going to say that, and the body itself, you could even see ribs.
No, but that's exactly why I think it's Photoshopped. Because because look at all the veins and stuff you can see in it. You can see the fact that the skin's translucent because you can see the body and the muscle structure of the thing. Then when you look at the rest of the photograph, there's nowhere near that detail on it.
Oh, someone's just put in the chat aircraft wings.
Huh? Aircraft wings. And what is that in reference to?
Here we have
That's
the
what this is, an aircraft wing?
Now, I was just thinking, maybe it was the first thing they tried to fly. DarkHour is in the house. There he is.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing, my friend? We're just talking about pterodactyls.
I saw the picture.
Have you ever seen that one?
Well, that one's actually been debunked sometime.
Oh, has it?
Yeah,
Tell us.
unfortunately. Listen,
Tell
that
us.
well, I'll tell you as much as I can recall because this was done quite some time ago. This picture captured my imagination. When I first saw it, of course, you're looking in, seeing the soldiers. Everybody seems to be in place. As far as I understand, there was some sort of prop that was put up against with this, and that's what we're looking at. So it's not what it's purported to be, but it's more or less something in the way of Hollywood or deception in this picture. Again, I wish I could go more into the history of what's behind this because it is out there, that information is there, but at the moment I simply can't recall.
I'm wondering because if you look at the men at the bottom, all stood with rifles, I'm wondering if they're always holding rifles.
Well, they allegedly hunted this thing to some degree, or at least shot it down. So, with any hunting trophy picture, you see the guy standing there with his weapon of choice. And I don't think it was any different back in the, earlier days, the colonial era.
Where's the bullet holes?
Yeah, it's a good question, Rich.
I know.
In the cheek.
Well,
I mean,
there does look to be something in the cheek.
Yeah, I know there does, but you mean they hit it the first time? Don't you think they might have hit the wings and put a hole in the wing?
That's what I would think too. Like somebody's, these are older guns. They're using, black powder and lead pellets.
Yeah.
Aim is best with those things. I mean, it took a lot of work to be accurate.
Might got lucky.
Where are you at? You're in Connecticut?
I am in the Danvers State Hospital that was turned over into condominiums. I came in here on the way back. I was upstate Massachusetts, and I've been looking for this place. It took me about a half hour to find it, but I'm actually inside the building, taking a little B-roll, and figured this would be a good place to broadcast from on your show there.
Oh, yes.
You looking to buy another building now or what?
Listen, it's supposedly, one of the most active places in the state, even today, with all the renovations. So,
wow.
Yeah, I figured it'd be good to come over. This is really nice in here, though. They've done a very good job in way of, look at this, for God's sake. You guys want to go to the arcade?
Why do you look cold in the
Absolutely
freaking summer?
I am.
Oh my God, an arcade.
It was cold today. It got warmer as the day went on, but
that's an arcade?
There was a little arcade in this room. Now, keep in mind, all these rooms have been renovated over. This was used as a state hospital for, since I think at least 1800s, late 1800s was when this curtain-dried architecture of this building was built. Now, if you look at the original, I'm going to be walking out in a moment because the sun is setting and I want to get a shot of this for you guys. You look at the original facade, it's out there in the front. They couldn't mess with that, but everything inside has been gutted and reformed. So it's pretty curious. Again, it's one of these places I've wanted to visit for a very long time.
So you're going to be able to do a whole ghost hunt in there?
I could.
You could do one now.
If I didn't have, number one, we have residents that are up walking around, so you're going to have that ambient interference. At the same time, you'd have to come back at the appropriate hour to do it. But I do have a couple people that live in this building. I just have to get in touch with them, see if I can get some thoughts. These folks have been living in this building for a handful of years now.
So you're just there getting B-roll footage and whatnot?
Yep, seeing what I can do. Yep.
It's fantastic then.
It's fantastic. Look how beautiful this is. Look at the chandeliers here. Reminds me of being over at the Georgian Hotel.
Yeah. Is that a piano?
Where?
Thought I saw a piano.
Maybe you did, Rich. Maybe it's
Maybe
not
I
there
saw one.
anymore.
But hey, Ollie, you could use this for your lighting.
Oh yes, look at that.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Hey,
Can't see it.
What are you trying to say?
There we go. Hey.
What are you trying to say about my lighting?
Yeah, that's
I'll
weird,
turn
isn't
up.
it?
I'll turn. I'm gonna turn it up.
Why do you say you instead of Lee?
Yeah, no.
All right, check this out, right? So I'm out in the front here. I don't mean to usurp the program. I know.
Why did you say me, Rich?
Huh?
Why
Why
did
did I?
you say me?
Look at this place.
Because you're in a dark forest.
That's true, yeah.
Oh my God, that looks great! Holy
Wow,
mackerel!
that's a thumbnail there, right there.
Wow, that looks like that's cool.
Still operational too. They had to keep
There we
this
go.
part of the building because this is all historic and it's under the registry. Apparently that helped a little bit. We know that it doesn't save buildings forever, but because it was renovated into something much more useful for people in the modern sense, this is going to be around for much longer than I think they intended it to be.
Another decade at least.
Yeah. Oh God, at least I'd say 60, 70 years probably. I mean, it looks really nice in there. It's not deteriorating anytime soon.
Oh, go ahead, Ali. You first.
No. You asked the question about the
go
building.
ahead.
No, because it's what it's leading on to. So you asked the question first.
Oh, I was just going to ask if it had a certain kind of musky smell in there, like old wood or something.
Actually, surprisingly, it didn't. I think this is because it's very well kept up. I mean, we're talking about some upscale condos for what it's worth. I don't know what it costs to live in this place, but I would imagine it would be quite expensive. It's honestly beautiful and immaculate in there, like you stepped into a hotel. Now, as far as feelings go, there's a heaviness that's in the building, but it's nothing that I would remark on, in any sort of notable fashion. It's certainly still here, and if I spend time, I'm sure we could find where it is. But at that point, when everything's been done over in the physical, and you don't allow whatever spirits to move on, what are you doing?
It's a beautiful building.
What's the weather right now? Temperature
is probably mid 60s.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
That's
not
amazing.
bad. Yeah, it was cooler earlier, but
yeah, that is chill.
Sure enough.
Florida's getting down to 66 tonight. I can't believe it.
Wow. Well, fall's upon us. You're about to experience in full-fledged, Rich.
Well, this has brought us nicely into the paranormal, which my other thing that I wanted to speak about tonight is what Rich wanted to talk about. And that is Mothman.
Oh, yes, okay.
Mothballs.
Which one? I'm serious. Which Mothman?
Any of them. What do you mean?
Well, they're probably all the same thing, though, aren't they?
Well, this is something I was debating with Lon Strickler, Tobias Wayland, and Manny. Oh God, I can't remember his last name. All from the 14 crew. Okay, about a year ago, over at O'Hare, there was a sighting of this winged creature that was zooming around. It was actually chasing cars, similar to Point Pleasant Mothman, and yet there's actually no resemblance other than it being a winged humanoid to the original Mothman. So my confusion was, why are people calling this entity Mothman, this modern day sighting, if it has no correlation to the traditional Virginia.
Point Pleasant.
Thank you, Point Pleasant. It has no bearing, in way of resemblance. So I was always curious as to why people were doing that, and we kind of came up with the idea that it's because it was flying and it appeared humanoid. Those are the only two similarities, but it seems to be a completely different entity than what we originally knew. What do you guys think?
Michael, when did that one appear? The other one that you were talking about? Because I know the first one was recorded in 1966?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Well, let's see. From what I understand from the employees at O'Hare Airport out in Chicago, this was, within the last 2, 3, maybe 4 years. But these guys, the 14 team, have been actively talking to and interviewing people from that airport, and they're all coming back with these very interesting correlating stories, and yet they don't have any connection to each other than they work there.
It's amazing how many times O'Hare Airport comes up in things, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
UFO sighting.
UFO sighting. The murals that are on the wall. The
no, that's Denver.
On the airport.
Oh, sorry, Denver. Sorry, yeah.
So you're wrong.
I'm wrong.
See you later. You lost.
I'm not an airport expert.
That is weird. That Denver airport is interesting. It doesn't mean anything.
I don't know about that, Rich. I don't know about that. That place is incredibly anomalous. If nothing else, it means it's anomalous.
There's so much going on over there underground. I want to go there one day and check it out. I've been to the airport, but
Oh, Qvid, my friend in the chat, I've just seen just a quick one there. I commented it on the Out There channel's stream today, and no, I did, Rich. I did. I commented. Look, I made a nice comment, and I just said I can't remember what he said. It was a little joke about something he said.
Michael's wind is killing me.
Yeah, sorry. Let me
what have you been eating?
There we go. Yeah, it was windy. It was windy.
I commented on Paul's channel today, Rich, and then I realized because I could see his chat going up that I am blocked from the channel because my comment wasn't there, and I was like, "Oh, how charming!"
Oh, you're blocked?
Yeah. I'm blocked from the Out There channel. I don't know why. I've never done anything to Paul, but you know, I was deeply.
Sure, you did. You talked to those guys.
Who? Oh,
Me, TPOM.
Yeah.
Michael.
The Devils.
Lee.
Mothman, though. Back to Mothman.
Mothman?
Mothman, yes. I didn't talk to Mothman, no. Q, I love you. You need to come on the show. He's bloody brilliant. He used to go on UFO Proof way back when I used to go on every now and again, probably twice a year. I was
with QVid's UFO Proof?
No, QVid used to go on as a guest, and he's a great guest, very knowledgeable, and
see him on Third Phase.
He's a good guy.
Apparently,
but Mothman, I think there's something in that. You know, I see these many people speaking about this legend, and I don't know if it's alien, but it people have spoken about it looking like a moth, looking like an owl, and owls.
I was going to bring the owl thing up as well.
Yeah. What do you, Rich? You look like you're trying to stomach that. You think the Mothman's fake?
No, I'm thinking because you said you don't think it's alien. So how many of them are out there that people are seeing them since '66? I don't know. I think it's the same thing that happens when people say they see Bigfoot, and then, you know, the police that take the report say, "Oh no, your adrenaline was going. You was a bear." It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, ever. I've been in the middle of like spinning at intersections at 40 miles an hour. I think I'm gonna die. I don't see my dog in the side seat looking like a fish. You know, why do things change? Why do if your adrenaline is going and you look at a bear, why would you see Bigfoot? It doesn't make sense.
DarkHour is just frozen in the most awkward position.
She's in an accident.
I just love the idea of sorry, no, that was going to start bad. Like, I love the idea of you being wheeled into hospital. I don't love the idea of you being wheeled into hospital.
If it's a joke, it's funny.
But I'd love the idea of you being wheeled into hospital. Was the salmon okay?
It was goldfish, but yeah. If they found one, that'd be even weirder.
I thought the bear thing's weird. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I've never been anywhere which has wild bears, but I'm pretty fucking sure if I was somewhere and I saw a bear, I'd go, "Oh fuck, that's a bear."
You wouldn't all of a sudden see Bigfoot.
No,
morph.
I'd see a bear. Because
Right.
that's where the danger's coming from. My head doesn't need to make it more dangerous.
All I would say to myself is, Leonardo DiCaprio, he only just made it. I'm not Leo. I'm off. Leonardo, you seen The Reverend? You've never seen? Oh my God, you've not seen? That guy got one of the best. Have you ever seen it, Rich? Reverend?
I didn't like it.
But the bear scene.
One scene, it was 32.
Oh my God, that whole scene. That I've never seen any. That was.
It was cool.
That man just Lee, just watch the bear scene. That's
It
all I'll
looked
say.
real. He was getting mauled.
Oh my god, it was
Does he
horrendous.
kill Leonardo DiCaprio?
No, the
No.
whole film is based off him surviving the bear attack.
He survives.
He barely.
He didn't die. Yeah, that
Really?
was good. That's very clever.
I didn't even mean to.
See,
Just popped
humans
out.
are fun.
Yeah.
We lost DarkHour to the portal.
He's laughing at barely. Can't control himself.
Barely.
It sounds like a grisly scene.
Barely. No, I don't imagine that.
Oh, we can make this happen.
What's going on?
You said barely, like nakedly. Bear.
No. Bear Lee. A bear and Lee.
No, Bear. I can make Bear Lee happen for you.
That's all.
What is this show? Fine. What is my show?
I like the fact,
not my fault.
As far as Mothman goes, that when he appears, like fucking cataclysm, well, not cataclysm, but bad things.
This shit happens.
Yeah.
Who? Mothman?
Yeah. Because what was the first time he was seen was when the bridge collapsed.
Yeah, 1966, November of '66. That bridge broke up.
Mm.
And there was a picture taken, right? And isn't he hanging on to?
He's supposedly sitting on one of the arches at the top, right? Pretty wild stuff, man.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, so if we're not making it up in our minds, a bear into a Bigfoot or a bird into a Mothman, then what the hell is it? And where does it come from? You're going to tell me, oh, they just made him over at, what is that island? Plug Island? Palm Island? Whatever that is. Plum Island.
Plum Island, yep.
He's here.
Yeah, so you know what I mean? It's like, where do all these creatures come from? The rake, and then you got the Fresno walkers, you got the Jersey Devil, you got little hobbits, you got fairies.
Puckwudgies.
Yes. And the ones in Hawaii.
Look at the consistencies between all of these supposed beings, okay? Number one, they are seen in flesh and blood. Number two, they're also seen in an etheric sense. So that's one really interesting consistency that all of these share, including Bigfoot, Mothman, Puckwudgies, leprechauns, you name it. They're either there one moment or they're not. That's kind of interesting, and it certainly is an exercise in the argument for some sort of elemental existence in the way of.
Don't leave us hanging.
Come on, Mike. Show me your goods.
He's probably still talking. And he's not realized.
I want to know what a Puckwudgie is.
Oh yeah, look it up. They're little tiny dwarf-like things. You can go bowling with them. You actually use them.
Can you hear me?
Now we can. Go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
I was saying that, this particular aspect of dipping in between dimensions. Now, there's a curiosity in way of, perhaps we exist in many different dimensions simultaneously. We're only aware of maybe one, maybe two, but it seems like these creatures or elementals of any sort you want to call it, they've figured out how to exist in at least two different spaces, possibly simultaneously, possibly one at a time, but either way, they may be able to dip in and out. That is certainly a facet that's held throughout history when we talk about cryptids and elementals.
That's like what I was saying before, isn't it, Ollie, about the idea that if these places in national forests where things like Bigfoot are seen, it's not the fact that they're actually living there and they're there all the time. It's just maybe that reality's a little thinner in these locations.
Come on, guys. That's not happening.
Well, think about it this way. I mean, if somebody goes into meditation and, we could argue whether they go out of body or not, but they can retrieve certain information and experiences through these meditations. Maybe these elementals are doing a similar meditation, but they've figured out a way to manifest it into reality.
Mm-hmm.
And I know why you say that, Rich, because you're not a big Skinwalker fan. and a lot of people talk about Skinwalker being one of those places that where it's thin and things are allowed to come through.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's not a different dimension, what is it? Is it something natural? And that question is to you, Rich, because if you don't think it is dimensional,
dimension's great. It solves all of our problems. But I like to live in a reality that I can at least see. Maybe I can't understand it because I don't understand it. You know what I mean? It's like I don't ever have the experiences. And that would be nice to have an experience like that. But I have seen shadows, things in the corner of my eye, and things right in front of me. Yeah. That's true too.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know, man. I mean, it's weird.
I wouldn't fuck
bring
with
this
this
up.
stuff.
I got something interesting for you guys to ponder over. Okay, we understand that children oftentimes perhaps have a window into at least invisible friends or something from the other side, guardian angels, whatever. Excuse me. I have a friend of mine who has a 3-year-old daughter. She'll be 4 in October, and she claims that she's been seeing these 2 male spirits around, and they're one's a little bit older than she is, and the other one is probably a tween, right? Maybe 12, 13. And she also said, I know where they come from. So she took her mother over to the back of the house where there is a small swing on a paved area. And she said, underneath there is a hole, which they covered up with dirt. But if you were to take it off, you would see that there's a small door with no handle. And they all come from there. And her mother said, how many? And her 3-year-old daughter said, hundreds. So, so matter-of-factly, for a 3-year-old to say this and have some sort of description,
yeah,
we're missing something here, guys.
She was watching Ghost Adventures.
Yeah, maybe, huh?
That's interesting. Kids seem to see things, and I think because they have a sponge, of a body, like they haven't been desensitized, and they don't really have a lot of thoughts going on. I think
100%,
they're freed up from everything we think about, and that's why I think we need to meditate and get to that different vibration. But
I was just going to say that, Rich, when you were talking about not particularly being happy about the idea of the different dimensions and stuff like that mentioned.
Lee, hold that thought. Thank you, 5-Stroke-Wonder. Love you, my friend. I love Scotland, and I like Iron Brew. Thank you. I'll buy a bottle of Iron Brew with that. Go.
Yeah. I like I said, I won't go into the story again because I've told it too many times on podcasts and YouTube things anyway. But I wouldn't be fucking with the idea of like thin reality in places and stuff if I didn't believe 100% I'd met entities that exist on a different plane to us after taking far too many psychedelics.
For real?
Yeah. If that didn't, I've told you that story before, haven't I?
I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Now looks like a good time, though.
Yeah.
I would remember this story because this fascinates. This is what I want to do.
It's a good story.
I'll try and tell the quick version of it now because like most of your listeners will have heard this, or viewers. My friends were all older than me. I was about 18. They'd all done mushrooms a couple of times. I'd never done mushrooms before, and we've been out a bit, gone back to someone's house. They'd all been out and collected these mushrooms over a couple of days, and we didn't bother making them in a tea or anything like that. We just had them all dried out on paper. Now, I fucking love mushrooms. I love raw mushrooms as well. So I turned to my mate and said, what should I do? And he said, just take a pinch. He said, just a little pinch. You'll be fine with a pinch for your first time. Yeah. So the next thing is they're all coming up off their mushrooms. I'm still sat there like with nothing going on. So I just start fucking munching these things like they're sweets sat there on the table. It like fucking full on young rookie drug era. And like that, I always joke when I tell this story is that I took enough mushrooms to shake hands with God. That's what I took. And we went for a little walk and stuff, and we were walking down a lane, and then the whole lane closed in on me. I remember turning around to my friend and said, "Look, I need to sit down." And I lay down this lane, and luckily enough, I was with really good friends. This must be about 4 o'clock in the morning, late anyway. I lay down in this lane, and I tripped out for about 2 hours, and well, not 2 hours, so about 40 minutes. The thing I remember lying there, and the first thing I was worried about, because I thought I was wet, because I could feel water, and I thought I'd pissed myself. And Rich is gone. You all right, mate?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought I'd pissed myself. I was really worried that with people being around me. Then I realized I hadn't pissed myself, and I was in water. And that was it was like that split second moment where I all of a sudden realized I could feel things, but I didn't have a body. And now looking back on it, because you know when people used to talk about how you lose sense of ego, and you always think of ego as being a ego is the guy with the really nice car that's really proud of his job or is really into something, but then it's only when you experience that you go, oh no, like losing sense of ego is actually losing sense of your physical self and feeling completely pulled apart from your physical body. And I remember it's odd. It was like a transition period where things went from this, where I felt like I was floating, to the like fractal colors and craziness going around. And then I remember being surrounded by what looked like black figures, just like what you'd imagine is shadow people, because you couldn't make any detail out on them, but you could make heads and shoulders out, essentially, like they were wearing like long capes, that sort of thing. And they surrounded me, like completely surrounded me. But through no point of this did I feel scared. They didn't say anything to me, and I had like this deep feeling of they were sorry for me. They pitied me because I shouldn't have been where I was. And I still now feel that these things surrounded me to protect me, and they stayed there until I came round, and then I was back with my friends in a lane again.
I bet there's so many people, Lee, that have done things like that.
Yeah,
They thought they've seen aliens or whatever.
What were the shapes of the bodies, though?
Like, if you can imagine, you know, like the silhouette of if you take Batman's ears off.
Okay.
I've always wanted to do that.
So it's just a round, it's just a round head, but like just a silhouette thing. So there's a head there. You've got broad shoulders, and then it comes down to like quite slim.
Oh wow.
That type of thing. That's what I mean. Like they were wearing a cape, but they're not. It wasn't a cape. It was just the whole of the thing.
Yeah. That's wild, man.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, and that's I hadn't. It was only when I read DMT, the spirit molecule, and I found so many likenesses to what happened to me, to what happened to the subject in his like experiments. It was really weird reading that book.
Well, I've never done any. Sorry, what you say?
No. Go.
No.
I went last time.
No, but you were going to ask him an actual question that relates to that. I wasn't.
I don't remember.
all I was going to say is I've never done anything like DMT or mushrooms. I do love mushrooms as well, especially shiitake mushrooms. I make a mean beef and oyster sauce. But when I was a child, I'm not sure if I've ever spoke about this on the channel before. I think I've told David that was a guest. Apparently, I used to see a white lady in my bedroom. And I used to. My dad was at sea at the time.
I think your fantasies have a diversity problem.
Probably.
It's racist.
And I used to, when I say well, all dressed in white, just completely white. I told my mum this story over and over again. My mum still tells tales of this. I have no recollection of this whatsoever. I was a small young boy. My dad was at sea, and I used to always like try and come into my mum's bedroom, and because I was scared, I didn't like being on my own. But I used to complain about, well, not complain, but used to tell her I'd seen a white lady. Now, my mum used to like put me back to bed, say, you know, it's okay, nothing to worry about. And she says, what does she do? And apparently I said, well, I wasn't scared. I said, she just smiles at me, this lady. And one night, my mum, and I think my dad was back from sea at the time, but my mum woke up in the middle of the night and she saw a white lady at the bottom of the bed with, she said, looked like a pram, or she had, she even said she had a pram or something in her hand. I can't remember. I need to get the story off her again. But the next day, my mum had a miscarriage.
Wow.
And my mum's had eight miscarriages. There's a load of ectopic pregnancies. My mum's rhesus negative. So she calls me a miracle child because rhesus negative is where something happens with the body, fights off it fights off the
ingestion.
It fights it off, and it doesn't like to accept a child, basically. So it fights off. So anybody who's rhesus negative now who tries to have a child will know it's extremely difficult, but doctors will say to them, I think they give them a drug or something to kind of like make their genetics accept the child. But my mum, the night she had that miscarriage, she saw the same white lady, and she said she was literally white as a sheet, white, not see-through, but completely like powdery white, weird. And it was like a lucid dream, she said. Well, she didn't use the word lucid dream because she probably doesn't know what that means, but the way she explained it to me sounded like she was explaining like a lucid dream, which possibly was a dream. I don't know, but it's just weird that she had a miscarriage that at the time.
It's interesting too that everybody jumps to something way outside of ourselves when we see these shadow people out of the corner of our eyes, or we see, a full-scale apparition that doesn't invoke some sort of dread or fear. I've heard, and again, this is just in theory here, that most of them are actually either spirit guides who have lowered their vibration, and maybe they wanted you to know that they're there. Maybe they're just, inadvertently you catch them, or they're relatives that have already passed on, and they may not be relatives from your immediate life. They may be ancestors from, your mother's grandfather or your grandfather's grandfather who are around in some sort of soul family sort of way. So, this story that you're talking about with the white lady, Ollie, is really significant, especially in the way that the fact that your mother saw it, and then, of course, what happened after the fact. To me, this might seem like, on first glance, some sort of guardian or somebody who was there knowing that this was going to take place and perhaps was in the way of some sort of security by just showing up, or, maybe that was the intention. But that's really curious, man. That's a really interesting story.
But wait, you had the thing, right? You saw it too, you said?
Me?
Yes.
Yes, but I can't remember it, Rich. I was a small boy. I can't remember seeing a white lady at all. I used to tell my mum that I was seeing a white lady.
Right.
But I was
3 years old? 4 years old?
I think it was 5. I'm gonna ask my mum. I might get on video camera telling the story. My mum will do that. My dad won't. My mum will. So I'll get her to tell the story.
Sorry. God,
the night that I what?
You saw it. She had.
No, I don't know if it's the night that I saw it, but it was the night that Lee's internet keeps going. It's been going all week. It was the night that she had the miscarriage that my mum saw it. Right. I don't know if it's a night that I saw it or not, because I
thought it was the same night.
I have no recollection of seeing a white lady. I've seen one thing weird in my life, and that was at the bottom, sat on the bottom of my, and that was probably about 2 years before my first boy was born. and I sat up in bed. My wife was like, "What's wrong?" And I said, "Nothing. It's fine. It's nice. There's somebody sat at the bottom of the bed." And then I turned round and went back to sleep. Apparently,
Wow.
but I can remember it. I can remember it plain as day, and it did seem real. Whether it was a dream or me sleep, sitting up, and I physically sat up. I don't sleepwalk. But yeah, I remember that, and it was a black figure at the bottom of the bed. Didn't feel it or anything like that. I just remember seeing it, and my wife was freaked out, and she said, "What's wrong?" I said, "There's something sat at the bottom of the bed. Don't worry." I used the word nice. I said, "It's nice." And I turned round and went back to sleep. Left her scared shitless.
Wow. That's interesting. It is.
I've also had lucid dreams of seeing things. And I told David, I speak to David, who's been on the channel a couple of times, completely blacked out.
Wilcock?
No, not Wilcock. A real David. I don't even know if David Wilcock's real name is David. It looks like a Sebastian to me.
It looks like a man that should have his hard drive checked.
Looks like an asshole.
Yeah.
Sorry. God forgive me.
You should call somebody out like David, Rich. Get him on your channel.
I just did a Meyer.
No, but have you invited him on?
David?
Invite him on.
It's not easy to get a hold of him, I heard.
Probably because he doesn't want to be a hold of.
Yeah, no, I think he's been busy on this project he's been working on where he's
making things hover.
Yeah, we'll find out in a year. That's when the prototype will be out.
I mean, just to break the subject for a bit, speak about this, but because it's quite exciting, the Wilcock thing, and probably the thumbnail should have probably been about the Wilcock. But I looked at it and I kind of like, until I saw Third Face speak about it,
right,
and you speak about it, I thought, I just saw a little bit of it and I thought, oh, it's just David being David. Nothing will be. It's kind of like people are talking about it on the internet. So do you think this is going to be an ongoing thing? Do you think this is going to be something that's going to get hyped and hyped and hyped?
Yeah.
By certain people that'll just believe that bullshit.
And they'll donate to it. Yeah.
Can I'm going to be really ignorant. Sorry. I don't know what he's done this time. What's the new Wilcock?
I'm going to let Rich explain the hover car.
I'm going to let Michael explain the hover car. No, I'll tell you. David Wilcock, I guess you know who he is, right?
Yeah.
All right. So he put a video out the other day saying that he purchased this warehouse that he was standing in. And he goes, hello. And it echoes telling everybody, this is what I've been doing. I've been real busy. We are going to, within 1 year, have a prototype of a flying car that defies gravity. So it's this new technology, I guess, anti-gravity, if you want to call it that. And then in 4 years, everybody will be able to purchase them. So that's what's going on. And he claims it's real. He bought this warehouse. Michael found out the guy was broke down to his last $3,000. And how did he get this? And who knows? So the guy's he's a habitual liar.
He's a hustler, is what he is.
Yeah,
but
he's an asshole.
So the last thing he did, where he was sort of the big presence, was when he said that there was going to be the Trump video that came out that gave all the stuff. There was going to be like an 8-hour presentation was going to get put over the emergency broadcast services. That was it all had to do with your man with the letter for a name, which we're not allowed to say for YouTube purposes.
Oh right,
yeah.
After P,
yeah. And then he disappeared after that, and he's come back with this. This is his new thing. He's all right, because to me it sounds like he's looked at what To the Stars Academy has managed to make in
Yes.
funding and gone, whoa, I could take some of that To the Stars money.
Yeah, and get away with it though. You know what I mean? This is getting ridiculous now.
This is the problem with cults, mate. It's a problem with cults.
But I have an idea. I have an idea. It will take one witty, very rich, genius man.
I'm listening.
Me too.
Everybody, including all us guys, let's tweet at Elon Musk. If enough people do it, we may get a response. Let's tweet Elon Musk.
If the mighty power of Alien Addict GUFON and some fucking idiot that does podcasts can't get Elon Musk's attention.
No, I'm talking. Let's start something. Let's get all the guys in the chat here to tweet. When Rich does his show tonight, which we are going to end this show in the next 15 minutes because Rich needs to prepare.
Me too.
And Dark Hour. Let's get our audience to tweet Elon Musk. David Wilcock your what's it called? Tesla's next competition, because Tesla might be the thing that does the hover car next. We need to think of a witty thing. But if Third Phase of Moon do it, if everybody does it, maybe Elon Musk will release that one tweet and just say, David Wilcock, you're a bell end.
I don't think he's going to, offer any real competition. I mean, if Wilcock is standing out there now saying, hey, this is what I'm going to do, huh?
He's definitely not going to offer any competition. He's got more chance of making a flying dildo than he has of making a flying car.
Exactly. I mean, he's no competition to Musk or even Bezos or Branson. Some of these people who have all this privatized money behind them. Yeah, Wilcock probably has something there, but if he's really going to have to deliver on this promise of product. Otherwise, I don't know where he's going to find himself, because it's lofty what he's proposing. And of course, there have been other entrepreneurs who have suggested something in the way of an anti-gravity vehicle, whether it be a car, whether it be some sort of airplane. I mean, look at Russia. They had already said that they had certain working prototypes, but they're way too expensive to create commercial. So, there probably are other countries who aren't being as verbose about this particular subject and have already taken these endeavors. So it's curious to see Wilcock jumping on this now, and we're just going to have to wait to see how empty his promise is, or if he's going to give us a glass that's half full.
Just like on jelly.
The problem is, we don't just, in my head anyway, as far as technology goes, we don't jump from gas guzzling like cars, which we have now. We don't jump from that immediately to like zero point energy flying cars. Do you know what I mean? We need to go through this whole fuel system evolution first until we can get something which we can compact that much energy in that makes like anti-gravity technology like viable. There's so many steps you've got to make to go to a hover car from a car.
I think it probably is already there, that technology, but the problem is,
did you guys see?
It's not going to make any money.
I meant to send this to you. In fact, I did. I tagged Ollie in the tweet. Did you guys see that craft, like that looked like some sort of spy plane that was on the back of the lorry the other day? What did you think of it?
It could be a movie prop. Who knows?
Could be. Yeah.
That's the whole thing with all these things. They're not going to take top secret technology out in the open, or whatever.
Well, they wouldn't. They wouldn't, Rich. You're right. They wouldn't take it out in the open. Let's transport it on a lorry and we'll cover it with a blanket or whatever. That I don't think it'd work. That that's what they did with Flight of the Navigator. I don't think it would work that way. But sometimes there's that old saying. What is that old saying? What's right in front of your face? You don't know what's right in front of your face. what's right under your nose. Maybe they do shit like that. They just put it right plain in sight.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, though, if you've got, let's say you had something like that. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I would say if it was a if it was a prototype stealth aircraft, because that's what it looked like. It didn't look like anything particularly crazy. It looked like the natural evolution of what you'd think of as like a stealth fighter jet. Even you would say that was solid fuel as well. You wouldn't think there was anything insane about it. But I would say if that was the like new fighter jets that you guys had made, you would fly it from place to place rather than transport on a lorry. But I just found it interesting. But as far as the thing putting a tarpaulin over it, if you did happen to have something that you had to move from one base to the other, you don't have a lot of options than throwing it on the back of a lorry and driving down the road.
No. Yeah, I mean, I just, the problem is there though, Lee, is what if it crashed?
Yep.
The risk factor.
No, but
I know what you're saying.
But if you had to, you absolutely had to do it, because down there they have these facilities. We don't have those facilities here, and we absolutely need these facilities to make this thing work. You would have to do it. You'd have to stick it on the back of a lorry and move it, because it's you probably wouldn't be lucky enough to be able to stick it on the back of a train and do it. You couldn't. There's no other way apart from taking it by road. So you would have to do the whole back of a lorry, tarpaulin over the top of it job.
Or you build a base where it crashed.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it's not.
There has to be certain restrictions too. I mean, people are people, right? So if I go out and I buy one of these flying cars or a hover car tomorrow, as is proposed, and I start taking up airspace, I'm flying in and out, maybe I have a few drinks, I'm being irresponsible, I go and look in the window of some girl I like at her house. I mean, I'm abusing privacy issues here now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they're going to regulate something like that. And of course, you bring up a great point. What happens if it crashes? Number one, it's incredibly expensive, right? So who's going to foot that bill? Is it going to be an insurance company that puts forth, $100,000 for a flying car that crashes? And two, if you're high enough up in the air, which is pretty much 99% of the time you're in one of these things, what's the safety precaution if something happens in way of accident that high above the ground? Are you going to be ejected out like a pilot? Are you going to have some sort of, automatic parachute? What the fuck's going to happen when you have two kids in the back seat and you get into an accident 200 miles above the earth, or 200 feet above the earth?
Yeah. It's all of a sudden you go from having like normal car prangs where you'll have like a normal car accident to having however many bloody hundreds of thousands cars there are traveling around a city at any one time. But those cars are now planes. It's crazy.
I think actually, going back to what you said there, Lee, I think probably a truck would be the only way to transport that thing. That would be because if we go back to the sky, if you have an accident in the sky, it's gonna you may lose what you had.
You're not going to fly it over residential area. You're going to fly it over your own special airspace that you fly over where nobody else flies, lives, or travels.
I agree, but I think we're just talking about if you're going to move it, if you have to move it,
gotta move it.
Would you fly it, or would you take it by?
It depends.
Depends if it works.
It depends on what technology is there. What if it's just a wing and there's no technology, or it's just a connection? I mean, we don't know what that thing was. It could just be the exoskeleton.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, that is incredible technology on its own, because it's supposed to repel tracking and all that stuff. I don't know, man. I don't know what it was. So I'm going to go by what it usually is and what it was in the past when we've seen these things, and that's movie parts. Props for movies.
Maybe.
It is. You don't know, Lee.
It's
been around for a few days.
it looked. It didn't look sensational enough to
No,
me.
I know it was regular.
That's the like. But I mean, you look at the, when they did the thing to get Osama bin Laden, and they crashed a helicopter, didn't they? Doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we've seen pictures of the back end of that helicopter, and that looks like something a bit special, doesn't it?
I don't remember.
Yeah, if you look at that, it's like the back of the helicopter when you see it. It doesn't look like, it's not something that's. It's not a helicopter that's known, to be used.
Gotcha.
Oh,
that's
so it looks like a secret helicopter.
Yeah,
Cool.
and we still don't know what the fuck that thing was.
I reckon there's probably a lot of aircraft that either we have or you guys have in the States.
Mm-hmm.
We have no idea what they are.
And other countries, don't forget, you look at like countries like France and stuff like that. They're all going to be trying to develop their own thing. Fair enough. Like countries buy things off other countries, but they've still got their own military. They're still going to be testing their own things out.
Of course they are.
Here's what scares me. So these about Wilcock. So it's going to be Musk, Branson, Bezos, Wilcock. Come on, man. It's not going to be like that. You think he's going to be one of the richest guys? He'll be one of the richest guys on the planet.
There's only one person I trust in this, Rich, who's who may eventually. He's not said he's going to try and build something, but he's trying to make the technology that can do that with a small team. And he was in the chat tonight, and that's Alien Scientist.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's interesting. I forgot about that.
When you watch him in his laboratory with his guys, he's just testing different bits of machinery. You actually see the work going into it. Yeah. You don't see any of these other guys' work.
The only scientist I trust is Tom DeLonge.
That's a good guy to follow.
Though going back to that truck, you do know that Disney's remaking Flight of the Navigator.
No.
Yes, they are.
Good. First one was a little weird.
First one was brilliant. I loved it.
No, you haven't. Yeah, you loved it. You haven't watched it recently.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Too.
I watched it with my little boy. It's got her from Sex in the City in it. What's her name? Can't remember. Sarah Jessica Parker, is that the one?
Yeah.
It's got a young.
The 80s are fucked for me when it comes to films because I went too deep down the old pizza fence.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You just look at the logo on the steps.
I need to watch it again.
Yeah, look at the logo on the steps and look at the FBI logos. It's fucking everywhere. The 80s is destroyed. And now I watch loads of kids stuff because I've got a kids cartoon. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, my little boy. See, when I always want to show him the older stuff because I thought it was better. Like remember Teen Wolf, Michael J. Fox.
Oh yeah, that was great.
God, I loved that.
The first one,
absolutely loved that.
Yeah, that was good actually.
Well, before we run out of time here, let me put forward one more thing about David Wilcock, and that is in his proposal of this technology, he's not only telling us that we can buy it, but he's telling us that we'll have access to how this actually works. He's going to tell us in one way, shape, or form for the consumers to know what this technology is and possibly know the foundation of it. That in itself is even more significant than him coming out with some flying car.
What are the? I wonder what the legal ramifications are for backing something if it doesn't come to fruition like that.
Yeah, did he get your money back?
Yeah, because it doesn't seem to happen with like Kickstarter and stuff like that. There's so many Kickstarters happen that don't come to anything.
Rich and Michael, I mean, you guys, I have not actually clicked on how the funding of this. I've just seen the third phase, and I've seen you speak about it, Rich. How is he funding this? Has he got some sort of GoFundMe, or has he got like some sort of? What's he doing?
Doesn't he need investors, Michael? Doesn't he trying to get
He
one?
needs investors. He needs people to donate. He's actually almost on his hands and knees in this broadcast, begging people to support him, and yet he's still saying, "I have something behind me." His proposal is really nebulous in the end, in way of the financial end. But again, we can see him full out, pretty much begging for donations.
Do you know what the problem was, Michael, with that? And Third Phase of Moon said some people say he's definitely in a hangar. It's not a green screen.
Right.
For when you can see
Yeah.
particles of his hair. But it's how much effort he makes to say he's in a hangar. You know, when he's doing the echo and he's showing people, and it's almost like, yes, I've talked shite before, but I am actually in a hangar here. I'm in a hangar. Listen. Oh.
Yeah.
I think he's excited, I mean, of course, but to walk into the hangar and use this as your proof of concept that this is what you're going to do next. As I think Blake or Rich, you might have mentioned it, when we were talking about this, it'd be easy enough for him to walk into any empty hangar. Maybe it was abandoned, but if he really wants to try to pull the wool over people's eyes, he's excited. He thinks he has something revolutionary coming. But God, we need more than, him just standing in a hangar saying, "I own this." I mean, anybody can fucking do that.
I remember, what you call it, Billy Carlson was doing something about a year or so ago where, it's gone now, where he was on about developing a spacecraft or something like that. And now he's making his own Netflix.
Do you know what I find really weird about the Wilcock thing? Because the first thing I've done here is gone to his Twitter, because I obviously haven't seen it, so I thought I could stick it on while I was talking to you. It's his video of "I'm going to make a flying car" isn't even on his own Twitter page. That feels weird.
Yeah, because you'd think that you would, if you're going to make a flying car, you want to tell the world about it.
And if you want funding for it as well, and considering he's got 143,000 followers, you'd think that maybe out of those 143,000 followers, maybe a couple of them would want to chip in.
If they're really following him and they have the passion and conviction the way that some of those people who supported To the Stars Academy, I'm not going to mention any names, there will be fun,
If you're talking about the same person I'm looking at the name of, he's definitely following him.
Yeah, well, it makes sense to me, doesn't it?
Can you imagine if he pulls it off? We're just all going to look like dickheads.
Do you know what? I feel pretty confident on this one.
David Wilcock never pulled shit off. He's a scammer, a liar. The guy's a total freaking, what do you call those people? Snake oil salesman.
He's not even a good one, though.
Uh-huh.
At least Greer, sometimes, as far as the what he peddles as far as the experience thing, the what's it called, the meditation process he does. Yeah. At least he at least sells that in a reasonable way. Wilcock doesn't even sell anything well.
He's a fan. He says thank you, Lee. He's happy. Look at that smile. Look at that smile on that jaundiced face.
Jaundice.
So we are running out of time because I said I'd only go 2 hours tonight. One, I'm up extremely early in the morning, and two, Rich, you're going to prepare a show.
Yeah.
What's the show on?
I don't know.
The Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah. Fucking Wilcock derailed us, didn't we? We were talking about mythical creatures, and then we started talking about
happens all the time.
Then we started talking about his mythical business.
Exactly. It's so fitting. It's so fitting. Listen, if you come to Alien Addict because you want us to stick to the subject, you're in the wrong place.
We spoke for an hour and 40 minutes about the cryptids and all that stuff.
Exactly, Rich.
Just the last 20 minutes. Anybody complains, something wrong.
See, Rich, you're a bit like me, but you do a show nearly every night, and you could just pull it out of the park. I have a whole week to prepare, and even with a whole week to prepare, I just bang a thumbnail out and hope for the best.
That is the most beautiful thing.
Fine, you do
clever.
fine, brother.
That is so cool.
You
Thank
do
you.
well.
That's the real you. I know it is. Tonight I'll be talking about the James Goodall's photos, those UFO photos he found and cleaned up. So I never talked about them. So we'll be talking about that and a little post Meyer for a few minutes, but nothing.
Yeah, I think you definitely need to go revisit that.
But I've got a lot of stuff to go over, lots of videos, lots of things to talk about. So just a whole hodgepodge tonight. It's Thursday. It's hodgepodge Thursday.
Will you be asking inviting Michael Horn back onto the show?
No,
No.
he's dead to me after tonight.
Well,
That's it.
the thing is, Rich, you were very polite to him when you had him on the show.
Yeah, because I didn't expect it. I had him on a couple of times before, and he acted like a gentleman. And then when he came on, I'm like, what is he doing? I was kind of more interested to see where this was going to go. So I really I wasn't in the mood to get angry. You know, some nights I would say, dude, shut your freaking mouth. But that night I was in I don't know, interesting mood.
I think because is it Carl? What's his name? Cal
Korff. Cal.
Yeah, I think because he's a clever guy.
Jesus.
And I think you having him on just really made what's his name?
Horn.
Michael's nappy get very soggy.
It made him get his new name is Dr. Evil. If you ever talk about him, because that's what he looks like.
Dr. Evil, can I pay the show gold? How about now? You crazy Dutch bastard.
Who was the first person that you did? Who was that?
I don't do impressions, just just gold member. Gold.
Oh, gold member. That was pretty good.
And DarkHour, what are you doing tonight? Are you got a show?
Yeah, I'm zipping home. Hope to Christ I can make it on time. I'm probably going to be about 5-10 minutes over, but I have Jared Murphy on this evening, and he's going to be discussing his recent expedition out to the Grand Canyon, wherein he's plotting out his course to visit, and scale certain rock facades, visit caves and areas that haven't been traversed by people before, or if they have, it's been very few and far between that have gotten down into these nooks and crannies within the canyon. Now, what he did is he went out with this expedition again to map out the course that he would take. He is in line with some of the indigenous people that are there, and they're actually guiding him through this. And he'll be returning, I believe, in October for a longer stint to actually undertake what the exploration is going to be all about. That'll be on at 7:30 Eastern time here within 25 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Well, can you ask him what he makes of and I need to add you, DarkHour, right now to the description because you let me know today. I haven't done that, but I will put that in right now. Can you ask him what he makes of Anjali's mountain?
Oh, sure, I certainly will. And you know what? He's going to come back with a very pragmatic and rational answer for that, so I'd be happy to. That's what he's going to do.
Have any of you boys reached out? Have you reached out to Anjali, Rich?
No interest.
No. What about you, DarkHour?
I haven't reached out to her. You know what? I'd love to put her up against a wall. So maybe
the countdown.
Well, come on, let's. You know what? But there are certain questions. People like that are so convicted in what they're saying, and maybe there's no parallel here. But Kenneth Pass. All right. If you're going to say what you're going to say about what you're saying, you got to have a foundation for what you're saying. And I don't mean just give me a story. I want to hear that you understand the basic principles of spirituality, esotericism, things along those lines. When you talk about thoughts manifesting, when you talk about meditation, you talk about out of body experiences, whatever the case is, you need to have a foundation. If you talk to me or anybody else who's going to ask these very difficult questions that really get down to the core of maybe who you are or your narrative, you ought not to stumble. If you stand strong, then we have a conversation and something more to go into. If you stammer or if you fumble, right there, the entire world's going to see that. And again, we've had other people on the shows that have done just that in lieu of certain questions. And of course, I'm not going to do it outright, like, but I'm not going to do it in an accusing sense. I'm going to give them the questions the way that I do to see where they want to take that. And it's going to be totally up to them with the picture that they paint of themselves being on the show. So maybe I will reach out to her.
Do it. And if you do, can you ask her to reply to me? Rich Giordano, God bless you, my friend.
You guys later.
I'll see you soon.
It was
Goodbye,
a blast.
God bless.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Well, I've now saved the broadcast must be scheduled. Oh God, I will literally put your. It's not letting me add the description. Go check out DarkHour Paranormal. I will add the description right after the show. But Lee,
Hi.
What's happening? What are we doing?
I've got a new podcast.
I know.
Oh,
yeah. I've got a new podcast called This is Cheaper Than Therapy. You can find it on, I think now, apart from Spotify, because that hasn't cleared yet, you should be able to find This is Cheaper Than Therapy on all the other things, or if you already follow Musty Audio and post it on Musty Audio, but that will stop and it will just be its own thing eventually.
And without getting me shut down, Lee, what's it going to be about?
It's just whatever I want to talk about. Like it's a short form one, half an hour to 45 minutes.
World events and all sorts of craziness.
World events, all sorts of craziness. Anything I find funny as well. It's I'm not comparing it to him because I think the guy's a god. But if you like Bill Burr's Monday Morning Podcast, you'll probably like my podcast as well.
Well, I watched the first episode, and also one of the subscribers tonight, who is, I think, it's one of your Patreons now as well, Lee, as well as mine, messaged me the other day and said, "Have you seen Lee's new show, the demo of it?" And he loved it. So,
I'm pretty proud of it.
I loved it.
I do like
it. Are they going to be that long? Are they going to be about 30 minutes each?
I think so. Yeah,
I think that's a really good little. It's like you get the washing up done and you're listening to it in the background.
Yeah. Well, I think that'll eventually take over from Musty Audio because after having the like the virus guy on my podcast has lost thousands of listeners. I don't
after you got the warnings from you.
Yeah. I don't think that those people have disappeared. I just don't think they're getting served the podcast anymore. It's very, 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 very strange.
You have to be careful in this field who you interview.
Yeah.
This is the thing with interviews, though. You could, for all I know, I may get every now and again. I interview somebody who I've not met before. They may say something that gets me into a lot of shit.
Would you like to know something like, obviously without saying names or subjects or anything like that? The interesting thing about the guy I interviewed is we have a bank over here on the Isle of Man. We have the Isle of Man Bank, and
be careful, because I'm sweating a bit.
No, it's fine. But because of his beliefs and what he's essentially taken our government to court right now. Like he's filed to take our own government to court over things that have gone on. Yeah. He's lost his bank account because of his beliefs.
Jesus, man, really?
Yeah, it's real, and I don't agree with a lot of the stuff he says. I agree with a good 55%, maybe even a little bit more. But yeah, he's lost access to his bank account now, and it's very, very odd.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's tyranny.
It is a strange world, but guys,
is.
we have run out of time. I want to thank you all for coming on. Good night. God bless. Mind the bugs don't bite. I'm Alien Addict. This is Lee from Must See Audio, and now
This
it
is
called?
cheaper than therapy.
This is Cheaper Than Therapy,
Yeah.
and DarkHour Paranormal. Good night. God bless, folks. Mind the
Thank
bugs
you,
don't bite. I've
Bye
already said
bye.
that.
Thanks, guys.